Well then, let's begin with some of the issues that will form part of our conversation tonight on the program, and perhaps the breaking news that we've been following for you on Channels Television. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has registered 23 new political parties, bringing the total number of parties to 91. Some of the parties include the Advanced Alliance Party, Liberation Movement, Save Nigeria Congress, United Patriots Youth Party, We the People Nigeria, among others. And it has also extended the deadline for the continuous voter registration by 2 weeks. So the big question is, have you registered to vote if you are of the voting age? If you have any issues with your permanent voter card or your registration, have you rectified it? You have about 2 weeks more before the 2019 general elections. But tonight, there's been a lot of talk about the third force, the political alternatives that we have in Nigeria. We get to know what their plans are and what they're up to. Are they able to upstage the main political parties? Now that we have 23 more political parties, are you confused as a voter in Nigeria? We'll break it down all for you tonight on the program, so stick with us. Let's get to dissect what the new political party registration means for us, especially we operate a multi-party system in Nigeria. Joining us to look at this issue is an election observer and the national coordinator, ED of YIAGA, Samson Itodo. He joins us from Abuja. Thank you so much, Samson. Now, 91 political parties altogether. That is what we have in Nigeria. If you imagine how our ballot papers would look like on an election day, Samson?
Well, thank you very much. I think it's important to put on record that the nature of our constitution and the criteria for registering political parties, it's not as cumbersome as we would have expected. And that is why INEC does not have any choice whatsoever to register political parties once they fulfill the constitutional conditions for doing so. But there's a big issue, and this registration has got a lot of implications for elections. First is the nature of our ballot papers. We're already grappling with 68 political parties. In fact, in the Osun elections, over 40 political parties have presented candidates, and that has huge implications for election logistics. The ballot paper sizes will definitely change. Even it's got implications even for the ballot box. And so access to ballot is an issue that needs to be addressed within our political process. Just imagine if over 80 political parties present candidates in the 2019 election. It's going to cause a huge logistical nightmare.
So, Samson, are you saying that this is not a good news for our political system?
No, well, this argument is neither here nor there. Quite frankly, I believe that parties and individuals have a right to register and get registered or recognized as political parties. But I don't think all parties should have access to the ballot, quite frankly. And that's a conversation we need to have. We need to have guidelines and extant laws that limit access to the ballot. And those conditions need to be explicit. In other countries, there are conditions for political parties to gain access to the ballot because it's got huge logistical nightmare. And all of these political parties, not all of them actually have what it takes to field candidates. And I need to say this as well, that political parties don't necessarily exist to contest for power. There are political parties that mainly exist just to engage with government and put the government of the day to their toes, or even just for association. And so it's not all parties that must contest for power at elections. So I believe that we need to have stringent and very strict criteria for gaining access to the ballot.
Interesting. With all of these that we have on our hand, the issues of the budget for the 2019 elections are there. Do you think that this will in any way affect the preparations? Because I know INEC has made its budget for this election. Is it in any way going to affect the plans of INEC ahead of the elections?
I want to believe that INEC is very strategic, and its strategic plan is contemplated that there will be more political parties ahead of the elections, and so should have budgeted for it. But in the event it hasn't, then this will actually have lots of implications. Because let's look at the conduct of party primaries, for instance. We have 68 political parties. These 68 political parties may present candidates for the 990 seats at the State House of Assembly, the 469 at the National Assembly, and then 20-something governors and the presidential. Now, just imagine, INEC itself does not have the capacity to monitor all the party primaries of even the 68 political parties. Now we have added 25. And look at the time frame that INEC has to monitor all these party primaries. Quite frankly, it's going to take a lot. I don't envy the commission at this particular time. But then again, with election budget, it has huge implications because INEC need to deploy personnel for party primaries. It's going to even affect the cost of nomination forms that INEC needs to produce.
It's going to definitely be a big issue. But something let's bring into the conversation tonight.